What's going on, everybody? Back in the lab with Project Swamp Monster. I've been out for a couple of days, had some personal things I had to attend to, but ain't shit can knock me off my game. Today, I know I said it was gonna be about paint, but we don't have everything we need for paint right now, so I'm gonna show you how to do some other cool shit. We're gonna take a fuel pump from an OEM gas tank, switch it over to a stretch tank, and there are some minor modifications you have to do depending on where you get the tank from, so we'll show you how to do that, as well as put on our new chrome fork lowers, so I'll show you how to remove from the triple trees, take it apart, put it together, including the tubes if that's something that you were gonna do. I got some gifts from the boys over at Limby Custom Ink. It's one of the best crash bars of all time. It's some more minor odds and ends that's going on with Project Swamp Monsters. We're making moves, we're doing good shit, but I'm not gonna bore you with an intro. We're just gonna get straight into it. Peace. So with this stretch tank, we're getting rid of the whole center dash console. It's gonna be smooth. And if you look at these, they're very different. This diameter is a lot wider than it is for the sensor hole on this. As well, it's a lot different because we're having the fuel, instead of being on the right-hand side of the tank, the fuel is gonna be on the center. So that takes up room. We're gonna have to maneuver this around. There's some things you're gonna have to do, widen this to the correct diameter. But I'll show you how to do all this to get it set down in there perfectly because it is kind of difficult. So let's get it over to the drill press. Boom. Pull this bad boy out again. Woo! Best in the business, ladies and gents. Best in the business. Look at that. Woo! Beautiful. It's not official unless it says Limby. So when you're going to change out your lower forks for the 41 millimeter, it's pretty simple. We're going to undo the top of this, slide it down to the lower triple tree, and then I'm gonna clamp this down, break the top loose with a big ass crescent wrench, and then we're gonna take it over to the vise and I'll show you the rest. All right, so when it comes to reassembling this, you don't need all those fancy tools and all that bullshit. It is gonna be strenuous, so if you don't have the strength to do it, you might wanna get the specialty tools, but if you can muscle it, all you're gonna do is screw in the top onto here, get a big ass socket, this is a 36, put it on, press down with all your might, and you can turn. So this is gonna be tough though. You gotta keep it at the exact same, you don't wanna cross thread it. Boom. So we take it over to the vise, we put our Allen key in, and then I like to use a pipe to get more leverage. Go until it breaks. Now we have it loose. We can loosen up and take it out of the vise. Undo the drain bolt, pull it out. Up at the top, you want to undo that top nut so that way it has ventilation to cross flow. Once you remove that, you can start seeing the fluid start to go. So then you want to pump it to make sure you get all that out of there, or as much as you can before you start to the next step. So if you look down here, there's a retainer ring, and all you're gonna need to do is get a pick of some sort, press down inside the ring, press it up, and then work your way around. Keep your hand over it though, because it is under spring tension, so it will pop off and fly. But just work your way around it, it'll come off pretty easily. And come on, man, there it is. And that's your retainer ring right there. Just put that off to the side, make sure you don't lose that, and now you're ready for the next step. All right, so this part, you're just gonna push and pull really hard. Just pump, pump, pull, and it'll come right out. And then at the bottom, make sure that you have all the hardware, because sometimes this little end clip will get stuck in there, which is right here. Boom, we're gonna put this back on because this is how we're gonna feed it into our new fork lowers. So you don't need to remove all this stuff right here, but if you were gonna change out your fork tubes, all you would have to do is just get yourself a flathead like this, put it inside the little crevice. Once you place it in here, you will just wiggle it open, pull this off, pull everything, and then leave it just like you're breaking down a gun. You would want to leave it all in order to put it right back on. But we don't have to do this today because we're just putting the fork lowers on. So let's get to the next part. So we want to grab our end clip, put this on the end to make sure, because it's the part that's threaded that actually threads to the bottom of the fork lower. So now we're going to slide this in like so. And once we slide it in, we're going to grab our retainer nut, which goes right in there. We're going to lock that down and proceed. So when it comes to your fork seals, which are right in here, they have specialty tools, but you don't really need a specialty tool. The way that I did mine was I just got some stainless steel. As you can see here, I rolled it up and then I put one of these ratcheting cylindrical circular clips on here. So that way for 49mm tubes, I can make it bigger, or for the 41s, I can make it smaller just by tightening or loosening it. And it works out pretty good versus spending all that money on fork seal drivers. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna slide this down on top, make sure that it's straight in the middle, and then I'm gonna grab my PVC pipe. Now this is a 2-inch diameter PVC pipe, slide it down on top of here, and then just smash it with whatever you have available. So I'm going to use probably this fork tube right here. Grab this, and then I'm just gonna smash this down on top of here. And that's all she wrote. So now she's down in there. You want to make sure when you look down in here that you can see the little retainer clip lip. So when you slide this retaining clip down on here, just put it down like this. It's easier to do without gloves because you could be more tactile, but this thing is super slippery. So I'm just gonna grab my tool. So I'm gonna use this flathead right here. I'm gonna start the front end down first. And once I get that down, I'm gonna hold it and I'm just gonna work around. And as you work your way around, you should hear an audible click. You'll hear that click. If you don't hear it click, it's because you didn't drive the seals down far enough and it's not seating in that groove. This is imperative that you do this and to hear that click and make sure that you visually inspect. Putting it back on is pretty much the easiest part. You just slide it back up, lock it down, and right here, you can just fill it up with your fluid, put it down, and boom, you're done. So not too difficult. Let's go. All right, so here's the motor back together, looking beautiful. Everything is tip-top shape. We got our chrome pieces for the center. We polished up the fins. These are those diamond cut fins that are looking absolutely beautiful. We got some more chrome pieces. This is all gonna be chromed out, the whole entire thing, shiny, shiny. So there's that. We're still waiting for the master cylinders, all the cables and lines and just everything else, but looking good over here. We got the majority of our tins. Here's our long stretch bags. And then you guys already saw the long stretch rear fender. Here's the stretch tank, the stretch front fender. I mean, everything is coming together. So the next video will probably definitely be on paint, or at least the prep work. But until then, I got work to do. See y'all next time.